Bais in this week's Parsha Yisroi from the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Yitzchok Zatzal. I would like to start off with an interesting story about the Rebbe, which I don't think is printed anywhere. I heard the story from Rabbi Yisrael Lapkovsky from Crown Heights, Shavarichas Yom Shalom Toivis, who heard from his father, Rabbi Nochum Lapkovsky, who lived in Paris. And he said, in 1926, he was learning the Yeshiva Tomchat Mimim in Kharkov. And one day, the Rebbe, who was a chosen then, showed up. And the Rebbe went to the first table of the yeshiva, and which Rabbi Nochum was sitting with his chavrusa and learning. The Rebbe looked what they're learning, and right away the Rebbe says, this Gemara, this is a famous contradiction in Rashi. And Rabbi Nochum heard that the Frierdiker Rebbe told the Rebbe that if you're going to Kharkov, stop into the yeshiva and speak to the Bochum and learning. And this week's Parsha, this is the contradiction in Rashi. There's a pasuk that says concerning Moshe, his heart esem, you should cautious all the Yidden, teach them, esachukim vesatoires, all the laws of the Torah, and you should notify them, guide them, teach them the way that they should go. The Gemara over here, two places in Shas, one in Baba Metzia, Baba Kama, Daf Kuf Amar Aleph, and also in Baba Metzia, Daf Lamed Amad Beis. In both places, the Gemara brings a drash. V'data lehem, you should notify them, show them, teach them. This is Beis Chayeyem, their house, which should be alive, the living house. What's the meaning of this? So here we have an interesting contradiction in Rashi. In Baba Kama, Daf Kuf, Rashi says, this is going on, also learning Torah, that's their life, that's the core of their life, Beis Chayeyem. In Baba Metzia, Daf Lamed, Rashi says over there, it must be talking about umnes, a trade, a livelihood. Tell them that they have to have a livelihood together with Torah. And then Rashi continues, you can't say it's going on Torah, you should notify them Torah, because earlier in the pasuk it says esachukim vesatoires. So therefore you must say vaydaita lehem means Beis Chayeyem, they should have a livelihood, means a trade. So the Bach, the Beis Chodosh, Rabbi Yoel Sirkish, in the Gemara Baba Kama, writes on the side that this is a big question. The Rashi contradicts himself. In Baba Kama he says it's going on Torah, and in Baba Metzia he says it's going on livelihood. And you can't say it's going on Torah because Torah says early in the pasuk, "V'esharta esem esachukim vesatoires." So how could you say v'daita? What's it coming to teach you again? It's like extra, and therefore you must say it's going on a trade. They should have panosa, livelihood. So there's two questions here. Number one, the contradiction. Why in Baba Metzia, why in Baba Kama they say going on Torah? Why in Baba Metzia he says it's going on livelihood? And also, how could Rashi even say in Baba Kama is going on Torah when he himself asks that we have Torah earlier? So the Rebbe answered that question then when he saw the Bochum were learning. I'm not sure if they learned Baba Metzia or Baba Kama, but right away the Rebbe addressed this question and the Rebbe answered. Unfortunately, we don't have the Rebbe's answer, but in the writings that we have from the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Yitzchok, he answers both of these questions. And today we're going to focus on the question, explain the Rashi in Baba Kama, how could it going on Torah, what does it mean, V'daita lehem, Beis Chayeyem, if the Torah says earlier, and how do you see Torah over here by the words V'daita lehem, and what's it coming to add, what you had earlier, Sachukim Vesatoires. And in the contradiction, we will, Be'ez Hashem, share what the Rebbe Levi answers next week. Explains the Rebbe's father something very, very beautiful. And he will explain each word. The Gemara says, V'daita lehem, ze Beis Chayeyem. So we have three things over here. We have the word V'daita, some knowledge. Then you have Bayis, house, and Chayeyem, life. Said Rebbe Levi, so beautiful. The etymology from the word V'daita comes from the word das, knowledge. Everyone knows that the Rebbe explains in Perek Gimel of Tanya. There are three ingredients to every intellectual subject or knowledge. You have Chochma, Bina, Das. Chochma is the essence of the concept. Bina is all its ramifications, understanding it good and thoroughly. And even if a person understands something, he learns, let's say, a maimah, a sikha, whatever it should be. Then the Alter Rebbe says the whole purpose of the learning is that it should develop into your heart a feeling of closeness to Hashem. And you should have ava, love, and you should have fear, awe of Hashem, and with all its offshoots, and to have the right balance, as we spoke many times. In order to have that, to connect the brains, the seichel, with the midos, with the feeling of the heart, you have to have the third component, and that's das. Das comes from the word bonding, hiskashrus, hischabrus, bonding with it, connecting with it. And that's by learning it over and over that you digest it, and it becomes so part of you that what you understand has an effect on your heart. And then the Alter Rebbe says that's the only way how you will have its kiyum hamidos v'chayusam. In order to have true love of Hashem and fear of Hashem, the seichel that you learn must come down into the heart, and you have to bond with it, connect with it, digest it, become part and parcel of your being, and then you come to feel it. Once you have ava, that's the source of mitzvah saseh. Once you have yira, you have fear and awe of Hashem, respect. You won't want to do something that is against Hashem's will, so it will hold you back from a prohibition, as Dr. Rebbe explains in Perek Dal from Tanya. So Vaidata comes, tells you das. We need a bonding, and that will bring you chayas. What this explains, Rabbi Levi is so beautiful. Now you understand the pasuk. The Eibush tells Moshe Rabbeinu, or Vaizhar Esem, you should warn the Yidden. Esatoyes v'sachukim. That's going on Chochma Bina, the learning. Then comes the third component, Vaidata das. They got to bond with it, and that will give them chayayim, life. That's the fuel of the midos of the heart, the feelings of the heart. And with this, the Yitzchok explains the third word, bias. He brings down a beautiful, interesting pasuk. It says in Mishli, Shlomo Melech says in Perek Chov Dalet, pasuk Dalet, Ubedas chadorim yimolu. With das, you will fill up your rooms, your chambers, kol hoin, with all your treasures. Explains Rabbi Yitzchok the pasuk like this. A person is divided into three parts. He has his brains, his seichel, chochma bina, and then he has the center part of his guf, his body, and over there is your feelings. A person really runs his life mostly according to his feelings. You have to be in the proper mood, have ava and yirat Hashem. It doesn't come by itself. So the main force and energy of a person, what we call bias, what's a person's house? A person's house is his feelings. And the treasures of your house is your understanding, your das. Just like a person that has a house, it could be a beautiful house, but if you don't have any treasures there, you don't have any physical treasures or furniture or other things, man, the house is empty. But if a person has treasures in his house and beautiful physical and spiritual furniture, then it brings him excitement, it brings him happiness, he enjoys his house. Not only does he have a physical house, he enjoys it because it's full of hoin, from treasures. And that's das. When you take your knowledge and you bring it down and bond with it, that's the fuel, that's the treasures that will give life to your house, to your heart, which is your feelings. And the Rabbi Levi brings down, chadorim is the word cheder. Cheder is a abbreviation of Rashi Tevis. Chesed, Din, and Chesed is Ches, Dalet is Chesed, Din, and Reish is for something from Gevurah, I forgot already. Rachamim. Chesed, Din, and Rachamim. That this is also the three spheres of Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes. Chesed, Din is Gevurah, and Rachamim is mercy, as a mixture of Chesed and Gevurah. So this is the detail, the beautiful part of the pasuk. V'daita, it's coming to addition to what it says before. Sachukim v'sotes. V'daita das, And what did you do? Bring it down to you. Bring it down to your bias. And that's the life. That's chayayim. And that's why it's not a contradiction. It's an addition to what it says before. And concerning to the contradiction, as I said, we will speak about it as Hashem next week.